Well, welcome to a brand new day, a new time, new hour, new whatever it is. I'm just happy everybody's here to see everybody. Welcome everybody. Seek Advice Podcast. It has been a minute since I have been out here doing this. Kind of had to take a little step back, kind of had to refocus on a lot of things. So I'm so glad that everybody's here. Glad to see everybody. We got an amazing show for you tonight. A very close, dear friend of mine, that is for sure. But before we get our day started here, just want to give a big shout out to the XL Network. Anybody who has seen this, and if you guys know Gigi from XL Paranormal, she has started her very own network where she is unloading a lot of shows. You can see sports. You've got positivity. They've got all kinds of podcasts. Like I said, it is a whole network of people. So definitely go and check it out at the xlnetwork.com, where it is going to be the one stop shop for all your paranormal shows and podcast needs. And hey, if you're a podcast yourself, there is an area where you can submit your show idea, and who knows, maybe you could end up on the XL network as well. So, guys, check this out, the XL network. It is up, new, and running. They got a lot of amazing shows on there. So, I hope you guys will check her out, show Gigi some love for us. And with that, we are going to get our show started. My guest tonight is a close, dear friend of mine. I met her probably, I want to say now, God, it's one of those things I always say that you meet somebody, but you truly forget how long they've actually been in your life because you can't remember what your life was like before they weren't in your life, if that makes any sense to people. And I always say that people are brought into your life for a certain reason, for one reason or another. And this lady is definitely one of those people. I had the pleasure of meeting her for the first time up at Sage Paracon right there in King George, Virginia, part of MJ Dixon's amazing event. And if you've not experienced Sage Paracon, I highly suggest that you get yourself to the event. I know the dates. I can't remember them right now. I believe it's in October of 2026, but you can always log on to Sage Paracon and check out all the dates for that. So, right now, I'd like to introduce to you a very, very dear friend. Here she is. Welcome her back, the lovely Kim Sage.
Hey Dale, thank you for
Hello. Well, let's bring you up a little bit closer. It was like you were so far away, but then it was like, so Kim, like I said, I can't even remember how. I want to say about 4 years ago now.
Yeah, when
It,
was it? It was right after my 2023. So it was really only
two
a little
years
over
ago.
2 years ago, but it feels so much
Oh,
longer, right? Like I
absolutely.
totally, when you were saying that, I was like, when you meet those certain people, it feels like you've known them a lifetime. And, you know, 2 years is like, yeah,
Yeah,
not,
it's like wow, it's like really people are like it's like it's only been that short of a time, but like I said, it's been absolutely forever. But I mean, not that I'm complaining whatsoever,
yeah,
because I
me
mean,
either.
you have been a huge boost in my life, and really, well, I think the first time we ever talked, it was like a long conversation because it was just I remember what you were talking about at Sage Paracon, and a lot of things really struck a chord with me, and it was just like, okay. And then on the side, it's always like, oh, what about this and what about that? So you really get to know somebody, and especially at that event. It is a
Yeah.
truly amazing event. Like I said, I always highly recommend to be around MJ Dixon, and the speakers she brings in for that event is always amazing.
Oh my gosh, it's one big family. Like if I had any way to describe it, it's she does them phenomenal with everyone she brings in, but she keeps it small, right? So it's
Yep.
intimate and it feels like one huge family reunion every year. And I always say, like, regardless if I'm ever a speaker again, like I'm gonna be there. So I can see everyone too.
Yeah, no, and I was really sad I missed out on this year's event because she had another amazing panel, of course, a really cool mutual friend of ours, Tim Shaw, was out there, and just to hang out with Tim Shaw is just a blast to meet that guy and to
Yeah.
hang around with him. So,
Oh, I agree. I agree. Like he has a friend for life now for me.
uh, uh, so Kim, we're gonna get started in. I mean, I know you've been on a really crazy roller coaster of a life, and I bet it's all inspiring. Like everything you've done, from working into hospitals to your latest adventures over the last couple of years, really, and how like you were able to overcome a lot of it and even put a really exciting challenge on your plate, which we're going to talk about in a bit. But so let's just take it back a little bit, like from the beginning. Like, I mean, you started like you are a medium, you've always been a medium. So how did that journey begin and then go into your chosen profession that unfortunately you had to leave under an incident, medical issues that you've been dealing with now for a while. So
Yeah.
let's take people through that and how this has all inspired you to doing what you're doing now.
So yeah, from as far back as I can remember, probably like 4 or 5, I remember being able to see. I remember waking up and feeling, somebody standing by my bed staring at me, but that wasn't a person, but it definitely felt like a woman. So all my childhood, I would see spirit, see them like you and I, like see them clear as day. But it also freaked me out, honestly. And in that time, 80s, 90s, it wasn't something you really talked about, or it wasn't as open as it is now, I guess. Um, so then it got to be around, I guess when I was around 20, I kind of, it scared me so bad because I didn't know how to control it. So I didn't know how to go about my day without experiencing spirit, without, all of these, nudges, and it is almost like a beacon that we have where spirit's trying to get your attention, and it scared me, so I kind of like shut everything down. I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to do with it, so I just don't want it. um, and then around my mid 30s, I was actually at a point in my life. I don't talk about it a whole lot, but I don't mind. At this point, I'm like, it got me to where I am now. So I was in a relationship with an alcoholic, a functioning alcoholic, and it was, and I'll just say narcissistic as well. So if you are familiar with the empath and the narcissist relationship, it's one of the most toxic relationships because the
Right.
empath always wants to fix. The empath will always want to be a helper, and in that type of relationship, it was take, take, take. Um, so it got to the point where I was kind of like, I can't do this anymore. But I tell you what started being in that kind of relationship, you don't really see it right off bat, right?
Right.
So as the years went by, I started to pick up on things, but then I started seeing signs from my grandma on spirit. So she collected owls. And when she passed, I got a lot of her knickknacks. And I would have them up on my shelf, up on the mantle in the house we lived in. I had 4 of her owl knickknacks. And during like when the times were getting really bad and I was starting to think, you know what, I need to get out of this. I need to get out of it for not only myself, but my kids. These owls would turn. they would I
Wow.
wouldn't see them turn, but I would come in the room and they would be in different directions.
Right.
And they were out of the reach of my 4-year-old at the time. It was, no, my kids didn't mess with them. It wasn't like a thing somebody would have done. Um, then some other things started happening. I have dreams where I'd see her, and I started being opportunities started opening up for me to be able to get out where I didn't feel like I would have had the opportunity before. So I took it and left. And in that time frame, I saw happened to come across a medium. Had never had a medium reading before. Didn't really even, besides growing up with Sylvia Brown, who I adored, wasn't really into, all of that. But I was like, you know what? I don't really have anything to lose. I'll go and talk to her. And with that conversation, my grandmother came through and validated a lot of things. And at the time, this medium became my first mentor and taught me how to open and close and how to navigate the spiritual realm. So then we fast forward to 2020, and the job that I had done up until then was working actually for family for my father's construction business. So I estimated jobs, and I enjoyed it, but it was a job.
Yeah.
And when 2020 came, my passion wasn't in it. It was just a paycheck. And when 2020 came, he decided to retire. And I decided this is my chance to kind of do what I want to do, what I really want to, what I really want to do in life. So I went to school and got a medical assistant license. And my plan was to go back into nursing school, be an RN, and work in hospice. However, I got my medical assistant license, worked in the hospital, was a tech for a couple of years, but I had SI joint instability. And so it's in between your hip and your lower back. Not many people realize what it is, but it's debilitating when you have it. Mine was hypermobile. So it was like sandpaper rubbing in that one
Oh,
spot of my joints. And it pretty much had me bedridden. The physicalness of working as a tech, because my fellow healthcare workers know, like patient care techs, we do everything. And so lifting patients and helping all that just made it a whole lot worse. So I ended up having to get that fused. And that's when I met you only 3 weeks post-op from that. So I was in a wheelchair. I was in a wheelchair from that. And at the time, I didn't realize I couldn't walk for over 3 months during the healing of that. But at the time, I didn't realize I wasn't going to be able to go back to that job until I went and saw my doctor, and he's like, let's be realistic. You're not going to be able to do something physical like that. So then I realized I'm not going to be able to go back to school to be an RN because I physically can't do the
right.
job. So since then, and yeah, I had another neck surgery. I had a cervical fusion, and some other medical stuff come up with that. And so now I'm in school again, figuring life out once again.
And that's the whole challenging part. I mean, we're gonna take a deep dive into, what you wanted to do compared to what you're ended up doing
Yeah.
and being who you are. And I mean, I think from the moment I met you, it was like a click factor. And I mean, it was the same way with MJ, same way with Tim Shaw. And it was like it's really amazing to see the journey you've been on since we met and what you're doing. I mean, it's the universe who stepped in and says, "Okay, you wanted to be a nurse, but we really don't want you to be a nurse." And it is a passion, and God bless the front workers who work in a hospital, especially the ones during the pandemic and all that stuff. I mean, I give kudos to anybody who can work in those establishments because it's very stressful. And
Yeah. My first day on the floor was they put me on the COVID floor. So my very first experience working in the hospital was working the COVID floor. So, putting all the PPE on before you
yeah.
go in, and um it's a lot. It's a lot emotionally, physically.
Well, yeah, because it's a lot because you're basically told you're working with a disease they have no cure for at the moment, and if you potentially get this, you could potentially die. And I mean, we now are well more educated about what COVID really was or and how to fight it now, but I don't like that was like myself. I was working for a company that sold medical equipment. We were always in hospitals and homes that were like basically on lockdown because there was like so much COVID. And I'm just thinking, and then there's the stress value, like, oh my God, I'm being exposed to this stuff. Now it's like you have to go home. What if I expose my
Yeah.
family to it? And some people that like myself who take care of my mother, like, I can't expose elderly to it because their bodies are not as healthy as say mine is. So like, are they going to be able to fight it off? And it was a crazy time to be a nurse, a doctor, or even working in the medical field altogether. And you
Yeah.
had to work right in that. But it's a good thing you made it out. Everybody's fine. Nobody got seriously hurt. But so here you are. You're now being told that you're chosen, or what you thought you wanted to do was no longer an option. I mean, there's several other aspects of the medical field you probably could have thought of, but here you go. And now you're like, well, let's change directions and move over to this medium world
Yeah, I'd always had,
and work with people.
gosh, my medium side had always been like a side hustle, side gig per se for quite a while, but I'd never really done it full time. And my thing with working was I can't sit long. I can't sit in one spot long. I can't stand
Right.
very long. So there's so many, like, if I was to go out and get a 9 to 5, would I be able to actually do that, or would I continue to push myself to make myself worse, like I had been doing? So yeah, so I started doing the mediumship full time, and that was going really good. But I started school again in the meantime. So I went to local community college and started taking business courses, because I was like, if I'm going to really take my business on as my sole, way of living, I really want to know the ins and outs of the business side and how
Right.
to efficiently run it. And with that, I transferred to another community college that actually has a grief and bereavement counseling program. So I finish up the business this month. And then January, I start the grief and bereavement counseling program, which I'm super excited with that, because with the mediumship, there's so much that goes to it, more than just talking to someone with their loved
Right.
ones. There's the grief aspect, and that's helping them heal in more ways than just relaying messages, which really, has like a soul pull on me. I want to help in more ways than just deliver. And I don't want to say just deliver messages, because those are really healing in themselves, but I want
Right.
to help more um, besides the medium part. Like, I want to be there for that as well. I've also been doing training. My end goal is to be in the hospice field as like a death doula, or
Yeah.
to hold space when they pass, but be there for the family as well. So having that grief training as well, kind of like having all these tools for my tool bag.
And that is very important because I mean, I'm sure we've had this conversation. I mean, I've talked to a lot of mediums. So the people that are coming to you for these messages and wanting closure or wanting a message for a loved one, sometimes when you're offering these things, I don't think some people are truly ready to receive messages. They might want a message, but when it really happens, it kind of backtracks the progress they've been going through their grief process.
Yeah,
Uh,
sometimes it brings it up almost like it kind of pulls the Band-Aid off, or kind of opens that wound
right.
again.
So with you, you know, broadening the mindset, the education, so you would understand. Okay, I deliver this message. You see a reaction. You'll be also be able to help them kind of deal with it and give them some tools on. Okay, so you know yeah, you came and you got what you wanted, but now it's kind of like the process starts all over again. You start
Mhm.
grieving, because you still miss that person. And I know my dad's been gone 20 years as of October this year, and it still kind of lingers with me. And people always say, well, just get over it. Well, it's hard when you're truly connected with somebody like I was with my dad.
Yeah.
And, but I've learned to deal with it. I've used different tools, and I think being in the paranormal field and being able to learn more about the other side and communication and how much help that is, that it helps me with the process, but it doesn't really dim it down. Like people go, well, he's been gone for 20 years. How long are you gonna? Well, I don't know. I can't put a timeline on stuff.
It does. There is no timeline. Like the grief, it never goes away. Like that, there was a quote, and I can't tell you who said it, but it said something to the effects of, how beautiful is it to have loved someone so much that you miss them not being here? So how beautiful is it to have someone in your life that you miss so much because they're not here? But it never truly goes away. It's
Oh,
just learning how to thrive again. Because in my experience with giving readings, like your loved ones, that's what they want the most, is to see you laughing again, to see
right.
you enjoying life, because they're right along with you still, just spiritually, with you on the journey.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're. I always say their their life, their Earth time with you may be ended, but their their time with you is still ongoing. It's just now they are helping you in different ways.
Yeah.
They can become different areas. I mean, for people who know me, anybody who has experienced any of my talks, I talk deeply on how it was my dad from the other side who basically saved my life, going down the dark road and to actually joining him on the other side.
Wow.
But it was Kim that taught me grieving. No, that is so true. It is. It's and there's one quote that always gets me. It's they always say that you might be sad because you didn't get to spend the rest of your life with them, but they got to spend the rest of their life with you. And
Hmm.
so I always like that because it is true. Like you might have to go on without them, but at the same time, they got to enjoy you till the very end of their
Yeah.
life,
Until
which
you meet again.
brought them. Yes, absolutely, and it is not gone forever. It is just see you later kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, so you're going through all these medical issues now. You're trying to get yourself back to healing. So I mean, there had to be a lot of really down times where you're like, why? Like, why me? Why?
Gosh,
Like,
it's
you
so
know,
humbling. It's so very humbling coming from someone who's been a single mom, who's someone who's always been independent, who's always been very hard-headed. I'm so hard-headed. And even with spirit, like we were chatting about that before, like spirit has to like basically throw me curveballs in life to make me stop and really listen, because I'm all full ahead. So it's been very humbling, and I still am trying to navigate life with trying to not be so busy, because one of the medical issues I deal with is demyelation of the central nervous system. So it's considered MS, but it's not considered MS because I only have one lesion, where multiple sclerosis is multiple lesions. So but that's a nervous system. And so I've learned my triggers for that is exhaustion. So when I do go and I'm exhausted, that's when my symptoms really amped up, and I can't, like, words I want to say won't come out, and my memory's gone, and all of those things. So it's still knowing that can happen at any time, but also still trying to go forward and still hold space for others and still find my place in helping others, while I'm still trying to, well, not trying to, while I'm still learning how to take care of myself too.
yeah, and really, that's the hardest thing for anybody in this world, and I am
Yeah.
always guilty of that. Always being there for others, but never really taking
Mhm.
care of yourself. And I mean, I saw huge examples of that throughout my lifetime. Uh, if I even think of the most thoughtful person in the world was my dad's partner. I mean, took care of everybody, and once everybody passed away, they themselves ended up getting really sick and dying. And I often sit back and I'm thinking, wow, they could have been sick all this time, but they were too busy taking care of everybody else. But then once everybody's gone, that all caught up with them, and now there's nobody there to take care of them. And
Yeah.
it was always a hard thing to watch because it's yeah, people care for one another but never think about taking care of themselves. And that is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in 2025 with getting back into the gym, thinking about myself, thinking about my mental health. How important it is for me to take care of myself, or I won't be around to take care of anybody else.
Oh yeah, like one of the most repeated messages I get from spirit for their loved ones is you can't take care of anyone else unless you take care of yourself first. So
Right.
you have to fill your glass up first before you can do for others. And that's, I pretty much the messages I give, I can always take something from it for myself as well. And that's always been one of the biggest messages as be selfish in a healthy way, like start to have those boundaries with others. And
Right.
that's been a lesson for me too, is having boundaries of giving out the energy that I receive back and not just giving it.
Yeah.
And you feel bad, like I do. I still feel bad when I have to put boundaries there. I still feel bad, but I still have to honor. I'm learning to still honor them, and I'm
Right.
learning it's okay to say no. It's okay to cancel plans. Thankfully, in this past couple of years, the most amazing people that are in my circle all understand. So if even though I feel bad, they're like Kim, like you got to do
Yeah.
what you got to do. Like we got you. And
Right.
I was like, oh my God, I'm not used to this.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop it. Totally out of my realm. So talking about helping others. So being a light worker, I mean, for one, if you can explain what that means and how you use that into helping others, because that is being a light worker in itself is a very uh, I you know like being a medium, you're helping people, but being a light worker, it's like being above that yet.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I consider when I say light worker, I consider like all the tools I've learned with spirit, like all the modalities I've learned along the way, like being able to utilize those in whatever way I need to for who I'm holding space for, whether that is grieving or mediumship or Reiki or journeying, like so many different things. I feel like being a light worker is holding space basically for someone else and being able to be a safe space for them as well and try to help them. I just heard in my head, help them get out of their own way so they can continue to heal and move forward.
Right. And that's an amazing, and that is an important part about the metaphysical world is light workers from I mean, to be a light worker and to be able to I've seen some pretty amazing things done by uh light workers all working together.
Oh my
I
gosh,
mean,
yes.
I often tell this story to a lot of people. So for many of us that know Andrea Perrin, she
Mhm.
has cancer. She's been dealing with cancer now for the last, I want to say 2 years or at least a year and a half, that I know for sure. So the anybody who's been up to the MI Paracon, the last Paracon that just happened here over a year ago. Um, so many of us got together, and speaking of what I'm about to talk about, Miss Deb DeRoos just popped in there. So Deb DeRoos, RJ, and I can't think of the other gentleman's name right now, but it will come to me. They put this whole thing together of love and light out in the parking lot at the MI Paracon so that we can send healing vibes out to, at that time, it was Andrea Perron, it was Tim Ria, it was Chris Fleming,
Mhm.
and then Dan Klass's daughter, Shiley.
Yeah,
So,
Shaylee.
and it was to be a part of that and to see everybody coming together and just for the pure fact of unselfish love and to put healing out in the world. I tell you, it was I can I my body's covered in
Yeah,
goosebumps just
I am
thinking of that very
too.
moment. It was the most amazing thing I could ever been a part of, and I always thank Deb DeRusse and RJ for putting that together and for what that was. We had Andrea on the speakerphone. It was truly it was a touching moment. And it was like
Mhm.
everybody did light work and the energy that flowed in that circle at that moment. I tell people when you were holding hands with the person next to you, it was like electrical surge and you can just feel it. It was going faster and faster, and it's going through one hand, out the other, into the next person, and it was just. And then when we just poured it out there, it was. I don't think there was a dry eye in that parking lot.
Yeah, you're making me teary-eyed now just thinking about it. It's beautiful, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I always think, like, isn't that what we should be doing? Like, isn't that, like, if when we
Yes.
all work together, if we all can do that, work together and just make an impact in that way, it's amazing. It's so selfless and, yeah, like you said, it moves mountains. Like, love and energy like that, literally, I feel does things.
Yeah. No, and you're right. We need more of that in the world, and that's just why a show like this exists because we need to spread more love, more light. The world is really ugly right now. I mean, if people want to admit it or not, it is ugly right now. And we're not going to go into why it's ugly because
Yeah.
if you don't know why, you've been living in a really good cave and I want to move in.
Yeah.
But, so it's so to know you've got that energy inside you and you're helping people with it. We're going into one of the most stressful times of this year. December, like people are stressed out all over the place. I can't even walk into a mall at this point
Mm-mm.
because the stress and being who I am, I will absorb that shit like a sponge.
Yes. I
I
do I do too, and I didn't realize until I started walking this path what that was, what I was experiencing until I started, learning all of this and educating myself, and now it all makes sense. And now you will not find me in Walmart or any or any place close to
you
like
know,
a big mall.
any major holidays that include shopping in it, I
Mm-mm.
stay away from any place where there is a chance that I am going to be sucked into something that I did not ask for.
Even
And
the parking lot, even just trying to find a parking
a
spot
spot.
is
Yeah.
is like not worth it. I've gotten to where I'm like, you know what, this is not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Let's not do this anymore.
No.
So I want to get your help on this. And for anybody who's listening, anybody who's stressed out right now, could you give us a little bit of guidance on good ways on if you're feeling stressed because of the holidays, stressed because you've just lost a loved one? What would be some good recommendations of healing that somebody can do without going to see somebody to have it done for them?
Okay, so I'll start with the grief part first. And I'm still learning all of this, so I'll share what I know and what I feel that I can share now. Um, Honor your grief. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. I feel like in our society, grief is not honored look, like if somebody passes, what, we get like a week off maybe, or a few days, and then you're expected to return to life. When you have a baby, you have, 6 weeks to 3 months off, and all of that. So I feel like if you did just lose someone and you are in a very place of grief, like honor where you are. If you have the time, take it off, reach out. I know a lot of people, when somebody's going through grief, like they don't know what to do, so they just don't reach out at all. But they'll say, let me know if you need something, and then that person just doesn't reach out because they don't want to bother people. Reach out. Like, that's a lot of times your friends are uncomfortable because they don't want to say the wrong thing, or they don't want to like make things worse, but they are there. But so use your resources, reach out and say, I need help, or I need a hug, I need to talk to somebody. Also, writing letters is a really cool thing to do. Writing letters to your
Oh,
loved ones. Like, just get out a pad and paper, and like anything that you feel like that you've been wanting to say to them, even though if you speak to them out loud, there's something about putting pen to paper that just makes it so much more real. Just write them a letter and then burn it when you're done. Honor them in some kind of way. So, like if the holidays, if they were one to give back, maybe volunteer, like at a food, like, at a food drive, or serving food, or animal shelter, like volunteer in some way in their memory, or do something that they would have done in memory for them. Cook their favorite meals. Let me tell you, in readings, like they always bring up their food. They always bring up their favorite meals that they would have had. So being able to like honor them in that way too, it brings their essence into it.
right.
So any kind of way that you feel like, then when you think of them, that brings you joy, that you can do to lift those vibrations, to lift your, emotions in that moment, it's okay. Um, Also journaling. So, working through journal prompts for grief, if that's something you can do on your own, and keep it in your own journal. And then look at the end when you're done with the journal, if you want to burn it, burn it. That way you don't have to worry about anyone seeing, ever finding, your writings or anything like that. Um, for like feeling overwhelmed and all the anxiety we get with the holiday season, grounding is really, really important. When I do have to go out in public, I will try to take a moment of closing my eyes and bringing up energy from Mother Earth, and setting the intentions of having it surround me, like protect my energy. Or symbolism. It's all about intentions. So symbolism is a really cool thing, where like with my aura, I will think my aura is like a hard shell when I need to. So I'm not picking up people's emotions and energy, because if you're really sensitive to that, that will, oh my gosh, you'll be in a great mood. And then all of a sudden you're mad at the world and don't know why, but you're picking
Been
up.
there, done that.
Yeah, me too. Um, what are some other things? Guided meditations. Like, I always say meditations, and I can always feel people when they're like, ugh. But I'm like, meditations, like if you were really just to give it a chance, and I don't mean you have to sit there for 30 minutes and go, like
Right.
you can do a 10-minute guided meditation, and it will take you and calm your energy down and slow you down. And then when you're done, it's like, oh my gosh, like I could take a deep breath, or like release those things. Cord cutting. So like energetically cord cutting, that's a good thing to do to release any energetic cords from people that we've picked up. So you can find guided meditations on that on YouTube. Um, Gosh, what are some other things? Good energy clearers are Epsom salt. Like, so use Dr. Teal's Epsom salt shower gel. That's a really good energy clearer. Or Epsom salt baths. Yeah, a lot of self care. A lot of like honoring your, like if you RSVP for a party and then you get to it and you're like, I just don't have it. It's okay. Say no. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Just honor yourself. Honor where you are.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I mean, I will go to the gym because it's my own personal space. Put on a pair of headphones, tune out the world. Even though you're in a gym full of people, you can be in your own little space and kind of it's a great way to clear your mind. It's just by working out. And I know a lot of people are going, oh, but I don't want to work out. You know what? Go for a quick walk through nature.
Yes, nature's so, especially in the winter, right? Especially with it
Oh,
being cold in the winter, we don't want to go out, but when we, even if we just bundle up and sit on the porch or like just sit outside for a little bit, it just energizes us. And
yeah.
you talking about working out, do you ever get guidance? Do you ever feel like you get guidance from the universe or spirit or whatever your beliefs may be while you're working out? Because I found like when you do something that keeps you busy per se, like you get little nuggets of
Oh
info.
yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I don't. I listen a little bit of a lot of other things, but I do have some like very motivational speaks that I throw in my workout music. So yeah, no, I'll be sitting on the treadmill or I'll just get done doing a set and all of a sudden it's like clarity comes
Hmm.
and it's like something I've been thinking about like, oh, okay, well, what's a good idea for a show? And it's like then all of a sudden like right after a set or while I'm on the treadmill or I'm on the bike and all of a sudden be like, yeah, you want to talk about that, and I'd be like, okay, now who do I talk to? And
Yeah.
by the end of
I'm
my
on
2 hour workout, I'm like, I've got all kinds of information because I grab my phone, I put little notes in it, like,
Mhm.
okay, show idea. What do I want to talk about? Okay, people I know off the top of my head that would be good to talk to, and if they're not available, who would they recommend me go talk to? But yeah,
Yeah.
no, you get very clear moments of clarity, and that's the same with me. Like, yeah, I don't like the cold at all, but you know what? I really love lacing up a hiking boots, getting on a nice warm jacket, and just going to be out in the middle of the woods, tuning into what nature sounds have, and some of the downloads I get are just miraculous. And it'd be like, okay, this is where you want to go. This is what you're trying to do. It's like
Yeah.
all clarity, and I can forget the world. And any place where I can forget the world, I'm in my happiest place. I love people. I don't like being around people.
I can resonate with that. I can like in my field, I have to people, like I have to hold space and but I'm actually very I would say I'm mostly like an introvert, but I have to be an extrovert like
Right.
in my field. But after events and things like that, or even like weekends of readings and stuff, like I like energy hangover is a real thing. Like that's
Oh,
totally a real thing. So I typically go dark for
yeah.
like because I
Well,
just
yeah. I mean, being at events, it's great because you're around like-minded people. You're surrounded by a lot of people who you enjoy being with anyways, that on an any given Saturday night, if they said, "Hey, let's go grab a beer," you'd be like, "Oh, yay, let's go."
yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, but does the rest of the world have to be in that same bar with us? Because I'd just be happy it would just be the two of us. But it's just like I do love people, and I do like listening to people, but at the same time, I don't like people. And it's like people are, but look what you do for a living. And I'm like, I know.
I
I
know it's
said,
hard to
it's
explain
even crazier when you see what I do on the side. I'm in the middle of a convention with like
it.
600 people, maybe up to 1,000 people. And I'm up on a stage talking and people are staring at me and I'm the most uncomfortable person in the world.
But it's different. But
Yeah.
it's different because that's your like that's to me, I love that because I'm around other people that we are all like-minded or we
Right.
all are open. We're
Right.
all curious. We're all that we're not judging each other. Like we're there to like
Oh,
learn. We
yeah.
should be. But
Yeah,
we're there.
no, I mean, any
Sorry.
convention I've ever been at is a fully blown on
Oh my gosh, it's
judgment
amazing.
free zone because if you're there to judge people, you are definitely in the wrong place
Right, you're in the wrong
because
place. Yeah.
it is not about judging people. It's not about
It's
whatever
like
they've
letting our
been
weird out.
through.
It's like I'm with my fellow weirdos. I am with my
Yeah,
people. I am, and you're like riding this high for the whole
yeah.
weekend, and then when you get home, it's the crash.
The
It's the
crash is the crash is worse than a sugar crash.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But when we're getting back to the exercising, I just wanted to note that that's a form of meditation. Like walking in nature, that's a form of meditation. It's like an
Yeah.
active meditation.
Yeah, no, there is so many. Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing too, and you can probably explain this way better than I ever can. But meditation, a lot of people think of meditation, like you said, sitting there for 30 minutes, your fingers up in the air, humming along. And, but no, meditation can be done in so many different ways. And I mean, I should never admit this on air, but I meditate while I'm driving to work.
I, dude, there are sometimes I don't know if I disassociate. I'm definitely in somewhere else, and then all of a sudden I'll be coherent, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't even remember going past those lights. I don't remember. I don't remember how I got here, which is actually quite scary, but it happens.
Yeah.
It really happens.
Because I mean, anytime I can spend alone and I can just get into myself, and it's not necessarily sitting there with my legs crossed, fingers up in the air. It is just me sitting there, just calm, relaxed. Chances are I do have something like meditation is going on in the background,
Mhm,
but it's just a moment that I can zen out at any time.
mhm.
And this is where it's like, okay, what is troubling me? Where do I want to go? Like what is it that I've been thinking of? Like what is weighing me down? Like what is holding me back? And
Yeah,
I mean, I know 99% of the time it's like, Dale, you're holding yourself back.
there's that.
So
There's that.
because it's so many truly amazing opportunities have been presented to me in the last 4 years, and I'm truly blessed to be in a position that I'm in today, to have a show like this, to have a show like the Paranormal Voice, to meet amazing people like you and MJ and Tim Shaws and the Jeff Belangers of the world. It is truly an honor to be around you guys.
Mhm.
And it's like
Me
most
too.
of the time I'm sitting in the room listening to you guys talk, and I'm pinching myself going, is this real? Am I really here?
Oh, I do that. I sit there and I'm like, how did I get here? Like
Yeah,
how like really? How did I get here? Like it blows my mind sometimes and it humbles me so much. Um and yeah, we are our own worst critic. That yeah. What is the word? What is the term MJ uses all the time? Oh my gosh, I can't think of it.
oh yeah.
I'm having a brain fart. Um, but it's the being your own imposter syndrome. Having that
Imposters, yes.
imposter syndrome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And for anybody who's experienced imposter syndrome, it is truly it's a whole different level of mental awareness, really,
It is. I
because
have to talk myself.
you
I have to um are we allowed to cuss on here? Just
can
asking.
say whatever you want. It's my show.
Normally, I have to if I catch myself in that, I have to literally say like, "Bitch, get in the back seat." Like imposter syndrome, get in the back seat because
Right.
I'm driving this. Like I have to I have to be my own little cheerleader when I'm
Yeah.
but being mindful, like you saying, like going into that meditative state allows us to be mindful and able to pick up on the stuff that's going on
Right.
where maybe we couldn't have in the past. I know I couldn't have in the past, but now learning all these different things, I'm able to be more mindful and be like, okay, stop. Like you're making this into way more than it needs to be.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm seriously, I'm the one who's held my belt self back because, and it's one of those, I don't feel like I deserve to be in a position a lot of time, and that's where the imposter syndrome kicks
Yeah.
in a lot of times, because you don't feel like you deserve to be there. But let me tell you this, from somebody, a little humble boy from Canada, a little city. It's like I don't think that I deserve to be in the position I am. But you know what? At the same time, it's like I'll tell myself, Dale, you worked your ass off. You do deserve to be here. You
Yes.
do deserve everything that you've worked hard for, and you've earned it. And like I tell people, you know what? If you expect to things to be handed to you, then you'll never appreciate it.
You're
I
very, yeah.
truly I truly do appreciate and I'm very grateful for every opportunity that's been given to me by anybody who I've looked up to. And it always makes me chuckle when anybody who's met Tim Shaw, I always tell Tim, "Thank you. I always look up to you." And he always says, "Please aim higher." And that always makes me because
Saying
I'm
that.
like, "Dude, you are like up here to me." And he goes, "No, I should be down here on you."
Yeah.
But like I
Thing
said,
though. It's that building that like self-confidence is something I still struggle with. I still there's a technique that actually I wanted to share too when we're going back with like being able to like get through this holiday and even this is like a good self-confidence technique or when we're feeling overwhelmed is to take a deep breath in and push it out of our solar plexus. So with our chakra system, our solar plexus is in between our belly button and our heart. But when you take a breath in and push it out of that area, you're kind of like pushing energy out, like you're pushing any of that funky energy out. But yeah, but being sitting back and saying, I did this, like I did this because I believed in myself and pushed myself,
right.
and I deserve it.
But it's also passion too. I
Mhm.
mean, and it was Dustin Perry and Jeff Belanger after we did an interview with them. Uh, I think it was the first year we were up at the MI Paracon, and they both said you can't fake passion. And it's true. I mean, if you're truly passionate about what you love and what you do, it's really not stressful at all. And it's crazy to think about, but yeah, we are here because we're very passionate about who we are and what we're doing and what we bring to the table. That was always my imposter syndrome was,
Mhm.
do I really deserve to be in a field where there's so many far more intelligent people than I am? But it's always learning, it's always looking up and always trying. But if you're passionate about it, just go with the flow and
Yeah.
enjoy what you're doing because to me that's not work when you're passionate about something.
No, not at all. And then that kind of like the concept we're supposed to be is like doing something that doesn't feel like a job, like
Right.
being able to, in the grand scheme of things, doing things that doesn't feel like a job per se, but it's because you love doing it.
Yeah. And you enjoy seeing the smiles on people's faces. Like after you've given somebody a reading, you can almost see like the lightness, the of the person themselves after they've walked out of one of your readings, or if you've taught in a class on something, it is you feel good, but you can see how their whole demeanor changes.
Yeah, it's so humbling to me. So very humbling when you're able to witness that or you're able to be that avenue of someone being able to let go what they've been holding on to.
Right.
It's yeah. Like I sometimes I sit back and I will just sit back and for a release for me, if I'm watching something and I start crying, I just let it happen because I've been holding in like I've been holding in all of this, but it's to watch to watch like people after readings and to watch those that come to me to learn because I'm an open book when it comes to this. I feel we all have the ability. It's just kind of like tapping in our own way, finding our own way, and allowing it to grow and flourish. But when I see those that come to me and I see them starting to be able to do it and shine, oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful thing. It's the most beautiful thing.
We have Kim is such a beautiful soul. She has taught me so much and has been an amazing mentor for me. And yeah, no, absolutely true. You are truly a beautiful person. And I mean, anybody who's been able to have the opportunity to be around you, they sense that. And that's another thing in life is people who are light workers or naturally like I call them Zen people.
Mhm.
Um, you attract such amazing people towards you, and the people who are meant to be around. Yeah, some people are sent to you for you to give them some tools so that they can go on their journeys as well. But yeah, you are truly an amazing person, and it's almost sad to say like our whole hour is almost gone by because
It always goes by fast.
I mean this from the bottom. I do miss you so much, and I miss seeing you this year.
I know. But
But
2026, we're gonna make it happen at some point in 2026.
absolutely.
I'm gonna be in Buffalo in August. Just saying.
Depending on what weekend, because I am going to be speaking at an event called Ascension Con, August
After.
15th.
It's after that.
Okay, that's
I
awesome
already
then.
looked in that. I already
Yeah.
looked in that and was kind of navigating. Can I make my way to Michigan?
It would be great to see you there. There's
Yeah,
going to
but
be some amazing speakers there that weekend. Not including myself, but I will be there speaking for anybody who wants to come out at Ascension Con. That's August 15th, Hastings, Michigan. You can look it up on Facebook or get in touch with Mary Bassett. She is one of the organizers for that. So that's my selfish plug for the moment. Now I want you to give yourself a plug on people want a reading, people want to reach out to you, people want to find where you're going to be speaking at or what you're going to be doing.
okay.
This will be your time.
All right. So pretty much where everything is my website. So that's www.kimsage.info. I also have a Patreon. So I have a like-minded community on there where we hold monthly spiritual virtual meetings, watch parties. Every Monday, I upload guided meditations and just in grief too. So I talk about paranormal, the grief, like all things that I'm into. Um, Gosh, what else? Oh, Belgrove. So belgroveplantation.com is a venue in King George where the Sage Paracon is. But I'm there throughout the year as well, doing in-person readings, teaching. I'm starting to do a new thing this year of during our paranormal lockdowns before it, I will teach intuitive paranormal investigating and how to use our own senses to investigate, but also use the paranormal tools that we do. And then we'll break for dinner and then come back and then we'll utilize those skills in the investigation as a group. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I'm kind of looking into throughout the year, next year, of going to different locations and offering it to my Patreon people first up the East Coast to investigate and have little weekend get-togethers together. So I love community, and I don't think the ones that I have attracted understand how much they mean to me that they're in my life as well. So I love being able to create space that we can all just be ourselves and hang out together and be in a safe space.
Truly amazing. I look forward to 2026. Hopefully, we will our paths will definitely cross at some
They
point.
are. We're going to manifest it. Put it out
Absolutely,
there.
absolutely. So if anybody wants to reach out to Kim, please reach out to her. I believe all of her contact information is in the description below. So you can reach out to her at any time if you have questions, anything. Like I said, Kim is truly an amazing, very, very kind-hearted person. And I said, I'm truly blessed to say that she is one of my dear friends and I love her to death. So that's going to do it for us. Kim, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to join us here on the Seek Advice podcast. To everybody else, we will be back next Sunday at 6:30, where I will be having Mary Bassett, where we're going to talk about aggressions and how that's helped people through her journey. So that's going to be amazing. So join me here at 6:30 next Sunday where we have Mary Bassett. And I think that's going to be the final show of the year between TPV and Seeking Vibes. And we're going to pick up in 2026 where we left off. Thank you to everybody who was on the side. You guys made this a really amazing hour. Kim, hope you have an amazing holiday season. And just remember what she says. If you're stressing, take the time to relax and clear your mind. I'm sure go find a wooded area somewhere and go hug a tree because that helps for me.
Or just scream.
But everybody, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Everybody have a good night, and we will see you all again soon.
Thank you.